and I was a Remax agent before we came to Keller Williams, and we actually at the end were owners, part owners of the Remax, and we just Matt and Bridget Taylor, our team leader. She's phenomenal. She worked on us for about 2 years, and we finally got to the point, even as owners, where we went to our broker and our other owner and said, even though this is great, there's so much more for us on the other side. Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great too. How can we not miss wild and crazy time, right?
It is. It's a different world. It's a different world. So I'm used to being on the go, and now I'm home with 4 young kids and my wife. So I give her a lot of credit because I don't know how she does it on a day-to-day basis.
So you have 4 kids?
I have 4. Yep. I have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 19-month-old.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm actually, I was just looking this up now. So you're a pretty busy man, huh?
Yes.
So are you guys homeschooling?
We're doing the distance learning through their school. They actually go to school in Maryland at a private school, and they've stepped it up. They had spring break right kind of when everything shut down, and then the next week they were all prepared and they're back to school. So, yeah.
Wow.
So it's challenging a little bit, but I'm not a teacher by any means.
Are you doing your work life balance and trying to juggle
Well, yes, last week was hard. I was trying to help, and I needed to get some time. So now this week I've had calls with all my admins and everybody like set up. So I needed to get on a structure again. That's how I usually run, but we just got a little bit lax here, just because it's all different, all new.
Wow.
So we're actually, I don't know if we're allowed to work. So we have agents out showing houses, not as much as what we usually do, but we're still listing and selling and showing. So, but trying to be very, very safe about it.
So yeah, that's good. I mean, you're obviously you're probably following the CDC guidelines and.
Yes.
Do you think? I thought I heard Delaware went to shelter. Are you in shelter in place, but you're considered essential, right?
Well, it's weird. They didn't consider us essential, but they allowed us to do. We can't do open houses. Mm-hmm. We had to really dial back our social media because we're kind of trying to fly under the radar a little bit, just so the governor and some of the people that are making decisions don't, just listed, just sold. That kind of has all gone away for the time being. So we're trying to just work, but yet be safe. I mean, I had my call with my team on Tuesday, and if anybody, we've got some older people that don't want to go out, which is fine, and just everybody can get it, but we're just trying to be safe as possible and keep people's businesses creeping along as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to do a few things. You're trying to, run a business. You're trying to keep people safe.
Yep.
You're trying to keep your family in alignment. You're trying to keep people positive.
That's right.
What's the old saying? Being a leader is it's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard. And whatever you want to put in between, but it's
That's right.
If you love it, then this is the time we shine, right? Like if you
absolutely
love it, this is the time we motivate. We get people in the knowing that, listen, yes, you got to take care of your family, but yes, you still need to conduct some sort of business in a safe manner.
That's right.
And it's going to be that much harder now to do business because, like you said, you want to do things without really getting, because a couple people get sick or a couple people get exposed, and your flexibility goes out the window, right? Because then the government will take over, which is happened in New York and in Pennsylvania already.
Really? Yeah.
So man, listen, well, this is all about you. I was telling Matt Fedek I wanted to call you when you first got here, but I know it gets real hectic.
Yes.
I'm also a mega agent. myself and also, you know, a leader inside, you know, obviously regional director, but, you know, I also own some market centers as well.
Okay.
So I get your part, how hard it is to create these incredible business. And I think you guys did about 90 million last year.
Right around 75 million last year.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Our goal was 90 to 100 this year, and we'll see. It's going to be difficult with a couple months of a slowdown, but
You got it.
we're
Man, you got it.
yeah. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
So tell me how you guys, how did it even get to 75 million before even getting to us? How the heck did you create that monster?
Well, my dad was a custom home builder for 35 years. So when I worked for him as a project manager, and then in 2009, he said, "Why don't you get your real estate license?" So my plan was to get my real estate license and really only sell my parents' spec houses, any flips that they had, things like that. I really wasn't planning on being in the real estate industry too much. So when I did that, all of a sudden my friends were all in the age group where they were starting to buy houses. So I sold all of them their first houses. And then my wife is 7 years younger than I am. So when we got married or when we were dating, then all her friends started buying houses. So it just was a progression. That was my personal business. So then my dad, he got his license, and we kind of worked it where I would do all the stuff on the real estate side. And at that time, we were doing, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 million, maybe. So I was doing that plus still working for him and getting a paycheck with the construction company. And as time went on, it just then I was 50-50 doing construction and real estate. And then, so it just kind of flipped over to where I told him, I can't do this anymore. I've got to work on the real estate business. So he decided that he was going to, close that down. And now he's an agent on the team, and he sells, and he's semi-retired, but he still goes out and works the leads and does things like that. So it was a good progression. He asked me if I wanted to take over the construction company, and my heart was just in real estate. It just, I felt that. So we built a little team. We had 2 or 3 agents with us that contacted us and wanted to be a part of what we were doing. And then I was really ready to hire some admin and do some things and get bigger. And the guy who actually got me into real estate, which was my parents' realtor before I got my license, was Ed Higgins. So he and I sat down and we were like, look, he's got 2 or 3 agents, and we've got a couple agents. Let's kind of form this bond here. And Ed knows everybody in the area, very connected. Probably doesn't look at a computer once a week. I mean, he really is just out there trying to work deals, but not techie, and it doesn't really work things on the back end. So it was kind of a match made in heaven. I was running things on the back end using his connections, and we were landing new construction and different things like that were kind of growing our business. So right now we have 15 agents, and we have 4 admin, 2 full-time and 2 part-time admin. So we're growing. And so that team just kind of built, and I was a RE/MAX agent before we came to Keller Williams, and we actually at the end we're owners, part owners of the RE/MAX. And Matt and Bridget Taylor, our team leader, she's phenomenal. She worked on us for about 2 years, and we finally got to the point, even as owners, where we went to our broker and our other owner and said, even though this is great, there's so much more for us on the other side. So it was hard, and it was a transition, but we parted ways in a good way, and we thought they were all going to come to to Keller Williams, but they stayed at RE/MAX, and we all left and went to KW. So we're really excited to be here.
I mean, that's a great point. Before you move on from that, so you're an owner,
yes,
of a RE/MAX, and you're your majority partner, was he looking at, were you 50? How did it work? You were 50-50?
Well, my partner, Ed, myself, and then our top agent on our team owned 50%. And
Okay.
then the broker owned the other 50%. So that was kind of negotiated to keep us there because we almost left 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And
What was making you guys thinking about leaving? Either was it the brand or the leader?
A little bit of both. I felt like Keller Williams was really pushing forward. Remax was still, Remax, and this is nothing bad against Remax. They're good. They leave you alone. They let you do your thing and grow your business. But I felt like they thought they were always number one and they were going to be number one forever. And we didn't really get the training and they had online training and different things, but it didn't match what KW had. So I just felt like the support wasn't there. And I felt like there was not a lot of room for growth with Remax. We expanded and we have a mega agent office now with Keller Williams, but we wanted to move out to another building away where we ran our own business. And Remax gave us a lot of pushback on that. And they finally started to bend, I think, when a lot of people, when they were hesitant about letting teams get big enough where they kind of overtake things, I think. And that wasn't our intent. We just wanted to be able to do our own thing and still be under the Remax brand. Keller Williams gave us the ability to grow. And I could talk about that a little bit later. We're going to put agents in different offices that Matt has. I've already started an expansion. I've got one agent and an expansion team in the middle of the state of Delaware. So that's going to give us the opportunity to grow. I just felt like that growth wasn't there where we were.
So it was,
even being an owner, there just was limitations. There was a ceiling.
So what I hear you say, you see unlimited growth.
I do.
Here at Keller Williams.
I do.
And then you said a little leadership. So I mean, I don't want you to badmouth, but I mean, I'm just curious because leadership is everything, right?
Yes.
Even a McDonald's sometimes closes down, which is not really often.
Yes.
But really, just so you know, Keller Williams, our company's like 98% are profitable, right?
Yes.
But even in these models, when the leadership is not present, you don't feel the Keller the franchise inside the organization, which makes you question, is this right for me, right? So I'm just
Correct.
curious on that from your perspective.
So I guess what I saw was as our team was growing, we were growing where we were doing about 60 to 70% of the business in our entire office. So for whatever reason, and maybe it has a little bit to do with me, I never got connected with people at Remax outside of the area. So the regional managers and everything, they didn't come and really push anything to us. So we felt like we were out on an island. So as our team was growing, it was hard to, who do we look up to, and who do we say, okay, Matt, you've got a team that's doing a little bit more than what we're doing, or more than what we're doing. What are you doing? So I was able to talk to Matt quite a bit, which was somebody that was sort of not on the same level, because he's on a whole nother level, but I mean, where I could ask questions and they always, even when we weren't there and they were recruiting us, they were so open, like, call Matt anytime you want. Bridget, was hooking me up with talking to different people all over the country, and I was asking them questions. I'm like, this is such more of an open culture than what I was used to. And that really drew to me, because I was trying to grow. I was trying to grow the business. Ed was out there doing deals and working deals and doing the day-to-day real estate on the ground. And I was too, but that vision of growing kind of cultivated by talking to Matt and Bridget. So,
well, it's crazy how, what you just said is so true. I mean, you talk about culture and then a partnership, right? With your partners, and
yes.
Matt and Bridget are your partners, right? And
absolutely.
The Market Center, the operating principal and team leader are, our business thrives off of, you are the business. Essentially, yes. the mega agent is what this model, I mean, Gary, you know, he has his top 100, and I mean, those folks, I mean, he really truly cares about them. And honestly, from us as a region, you know, myself and Michelle and Mike and Paula and George Kelly, we're the same way. I mean, we love our top people. We want to celebrate you. We want to help you. So not only do you have support at the local level, but you also have us. And more than anyone, I mean, I've been an agent for 21 years. I get it. I know what we go through. So you understand how important culture is, and having a partner that, like you said, if I, you know, when you're at the top of the food chain, you and Ed, right? So when you have a question, it's like, okay, I can't go to my team because I'm leading them. Who do I go to say, hey, what do you think about this, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I struggled with, because there just was nobody in the office to talk to bounce ideas off of. So, yeah. So, and it's been totally different because there's some, you know, we're on the western side of Sussex County in Delaware. So there's another bigger team that's in our area that joined Keller Williams a year ago. So they're trying to branch over in Delaware. And so, but everything's based out of the beaches, Delaware beaches. So it's been nice though, because I've had really good conversations, and I'm on the ALC there. So I've had really good conversations with really good agents.
ALC. Love it.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's been good. So I've had really good conversations with agents over there that I never really had those conversations before, because we were over in our little island. We had a brokerage of 25 to 30 people, and that's who we talk to, you know. So it's been really nice.
That's awesome.
Real.
So you said you have 15 agents, 4 admins, two of them are part-time, and then 7 other agents?
No, 2. I have 15 agents. I have 2 admin that are full-time, 2 admin part-time. Yeah, so there's 19 of us total.
19. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And then so do you guys have buyers agents and listing agents, or you let them do both?
I pretty much let them do both. There's some agents on our team that are only buyers agents. They're, you know, they live off the leads that come in from the team and different things like that. But then there's several agents that do both. My top agent, she's very good at doing both, but she's starting to become more of a listing agent, which is good. I mean, that's what I am too. Yeah. So yeah, the being a listing agent gives me the flexibility to run the team yet still be home with my family. So that's kind of what I've tried to focus on.
So what's the strategy or the secret sauce of your team? Like, what do you guys do really well?
We meet every week, and we meet in person. This has been hard for us because we are not a remote group. We all live in a close area, and we all come to the office every day, and I'm involved in everybody's deals. I mean, as far as asking questions and the day-to-day. So I do think that knowing what's, you know, and I guess I gotta watch how I say this, but knowing what people are working on and what's coming up listing wise gives us a chance to as soon as it hits the market, to have our agents out there to do that. So we're definitely, everybody's in tune with each other. It's like a family. And I think that's what really works. I know in the Keller Williams world, this is not something everybody wants to hear, but we're the #1 ad spend on Zillow on the western side of the county. It's really it's giving us a 9 times return on investment. So until that goes away, it's hard for me to. I mean, when you have 15 agents, you're trying to feed them with leads, and I have agents that are on the phone making cold calls and, you know, working expireds and withdrawals, but yet we still have a decent amount of business from Zillow, from Google Ads, different things like that.
Well,
so
what I will say, so we'll give you a little bit of credit. You just got here, right? But yeah. I will say that, you know, lead router, and there's some things that I think, you know, when I tell this to everyone, you don't just go cold turkey. If you guys are making money and it's working for you, I think Gary Keller would even tell you that. But yeah. the truth of the matter is Zillow obviously is in the same business you are.
Yes,
which
I
is real
understand.
estate sales, the real estate sales business. So knowing that, that they could flip the switch at any time is where you need to get your
That's right.
business in a position that if they did do that, you're fine. So my only
Yes.
thought to you is just, take advantage of this tech. If you haven't has anyone done a tech audit with you guys yet?
We have not done that. No.
So that, you know what, and I would love to set it up for you.
Okay.
I think it'd be great. And because part of what we do regionally is to support our top people like you. So maybe
Okay.
having our technology driver for the region is George Kelly.
Okay.
Maybe spending a good hour with you and really looking at all your technology spends,
Okay.
and maybe plugging in where we think we can get it to you for the 25 hours a month that you pay,
Okay.
which will
Okay.
save you. Usually, I mean, for someone like a team of your size, you're talking about maybe a savings anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month.
Absolutely.
Is what usually,
Yeah.
because even if we can get you to limit the spend and some of those things, and save you money, especially now, I mean, if you're going to cut expenses, it's going to be now, and then you're going to cut
Now's
it
the
at the end.
time.
So
Absolutely.
I'll
Absolutely.
definitely do that for
And
you.
we're looking on, and we're working in. We use Brivity, but we are working towards going to Command. It's been hard because we actually transitioned to Brivity close to the same time, a little bit before we came to Keller Williams. So I'm going to let that run for a little while, and knowing that I have to spend that money, but if I can get Command to where Brivity is, then I'm on board because
I will tell you that obviously Brivity's owned by Ben Kenny, so
yep.
Command should be able to do everything it does. So obviously, if you're going to cut expenses, it's going to be now.
That's there.
So
yes.
I would say I want to get this for you sooner than later, because you could probably challenge some expenses now and get out of some contracts now than you could have before.
Sure.
So if I can save you money, I'll do all I can as your partner to do so. So I'm going to
appreciate that.
Set that up sooner than later for you.
Sounds good.
So tell me more about your team. So what's the goal? Let's say pre-corona.
Yeah.
What was the goal?
So the goal was I wanted to, in the next 2 years, I want to double the amount of agents that I have. But we're out of Seaford, so I wanted to do that in other areas other than we've got as many as we can handle right in the one area. So I've got a Dover agent that is working out of Central Delaware right now. I'd like to add, one or two more there. I want to put some agents. I've already talked to Bridget about having an office at Lewis, possibly Bethany, Ocean City, and Salisbury. So I want to put 2 agents in each one of those spots and then have everything run back to the hub, which would be at Seaford. And, the admins would be working on everything there. And we just have systems in place. And that's I have been working on that while I've been home, just figuring out how do we fine tune all our systems that way when people aren't literally in our face every day at the office, because that's what expansion is going to be. And we're not used to that. We need to make sure our systems and models and systems are working well. So they want to stay and they want to be with us.
As someone who expanded before, expansion really shows your flaws and your weaknesses in your organization of the hub, right? So if the hub is Seaford, and then you go expand to wherever, Newark or Wilmington, you start to see, oh wow, okay, now I see what I need to do, or maybe it's a person, maybe you don't have the right person or whatever. So that makes a lot of sense. Have you heard that? I guess we have expansion systems orientation.
Yes, I do. And we were I got invited to it. Bridget invited it to, but it was sort of right in the transition time. And there was so much going on that we were trying to just get our listings switched over and all that.
I'm going to try to get the guy who taught it, Jason Abrams, who's pretty much in the mix. I think he's called VP of Industry. I'm going to see if I can get him on a top 100 call in this month. I'm going
Okay.
to ask him today, actually, when I get off this call with you, and I'll have him touch on some expansion stuff.
Okay. I'd love that.
But yeah, I mean, there's a, I will tell you, there's a lot of people in this region and outside of this region that have done it successfully. And now, honestly, you could call them up, and there's a guy named Chris Suarez who does a really incredible job. Even Brian Gubernick, who was one of the speakers there, those guys have done an incredible job with expansion. And I'm sure that you or your admins or your partner, they would get on a call and share some good, some bad, some uglies, and give you some tips. But you're doing it the right way. You're expanding first in Delaware, in your state, and then you can go off to Maryland, to Philadelphia, to New Jersey, or whatever else you decide.
And Matt and Bridget have made it pretty, because they have offices all over, which, because Matt's the OP, that it's easier for us to just plug and play than to go and, reinvent the wheel with a different market center. And that's where I have the agent in Dover right now. Central Delaware, they've been great, but they do things a little bit. So we were learning Delaware Beaches, the way they do things, process checks, all the little nuances that go along. And then Central Delaware did it totally different, or not totally different, but do some things different. So we're just trying to figure out, but at least we know that anything that's under Matt's regime, realm, whatever, is all fairly the same. We're doing the same thing because.
And listen, the cool thing about you being on the ALC is, because I consider you a leader, right? You're going to sometimes go in the market. Every office is independently owned and operated, right? So you're going to go into some offices that just either they haven't been exposed to it or they run things differently. And as a leader, sometimes you can come in and most of and listen, I know Delaware, most of those folks are good people, right? So you can go to them and say, hey, this is what we do. Maybe, check out this system or this is how we operate some things. And everyone is open ears in this region. I mean, you'll see any market center you decide to launch in. And listen, I hope you go to all 49 offices. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And you growing your brand, because what you've done is incredible. I mean, you are you're not even a 1%. You're like the point, 0.005.
It's all of us. We've got a good group, so everybody works hard.
So since I said pre-Corona, so what are you guys doing now post-Corona to kind of still stay competitive?
We are still out taking listings. Our strong push is we've got several builders and several developments that I say smaller builders than the national brands, and we're gearing up this spring to start some of these developments. We've actually pushed them along, and we've got some specs out of the ground, and we're putting some listings on as to be built, even though that they're just paper listings, but we're trying to get as much out there as possible. That way, while people are sitting home and they're looking at real estate, if we can, get our sales up and going, and we have been, but also when this lockdown lifts a little bit, I think the market's going to, especially in our area, is going to really pick back up again. That's what my hope is. So.
Oh, we do too. I mean, just, the market was really good before this happened.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I think what we did was hit the freeze button.
I hope so. Yes.
I think we hit the freeze button, and then we're going to hit it again and explode. So let me ask you. So if I had to, and I have two questions for you left. If I had to, if we're, I'm talking to someone from wherever, another recruit or someone that's out there looking to join KW, and they just say, why would a $75 million mega team join? What would you say the one thing for you, or why your team joined Keller Williams?
I feel like one is the training. I feel like there's training from a brand new agent all the way to somebody that's doing a lot of business, because there's always somebody bigger and somebody better and somebody doing more business than you. And I feel like at KW, all those people are teaching and they're reaching. You want to get on a call with them, they'll get on a call with you. So But, you know, going all the way, I sent 6 of my agents to Bold a month,
Nice.
2 months ago. And that is my thing. Any new agent that comes on the next Bold, I'm paying for it. They're going to Bold.
So $99 virtually now, I think in May. So
really, okay,
yeah, it's going to be
okay.
awesome.
So so I might actually put everybody else on that, you know, but we were going to take care of all that and pay for that. But I think that's important because that sets them in a good mindset to, because when I was training the new agents. I mean, twice a week we were sitting down for an hour and a half, 2 hours every day with the new agents and going through all this. And now I feel like I can almost send them somewhere. They still have to learn our system and the way we do things, but how to sell real estate, then they can learn that from someone else and then come back and implement our systems and our help and our leads and different things like that so they can grow their business.
So what was the one question that I should have asked you that I didn't, Russell?
I'm not sure. I don't know. You know, we're just, we are.
How about this? I'm a new agent and I want to aspire to be like you and what you and Ed created. What are like 1 or 2 things we should focus on right now to build that kind of business?
Right now, one, first and foremost, you got to focus on listings. You know, list the last, all that kind of stuff. But listings does make the job easier because you're getting, you know, signed calls and calls from the internet. If you're a single agent, you know, as you get bigger, you really have to look at, it can't always be about you. If you want to grow a team, you got to look at every day, what am I providing for my team members to make them want to be here every single day? So, you know, you can't give them some advice and then a week later expect them, because it's what have you done for me right now? And you got to be involved in their deals. You got to be involved in their life. You know, or you have to hire people that are doing that. So, being a team leader, as you know, is a 24-hour, 7 days a week job. You can try to, you know, time block, but you need to be involved in their life or they're going to say, what am I doing here? Mm-hmm. And that's what we've tried to do. So we really, you know, have a good relationship with everybody. And, you know, expansion is great, but I want to do expansion the right way because I do want them to feel like they can talk to either me or somebody else pretty much whenever they have questions. And I think that's the way we need to move forward with that. So, you know, just Keller Williams is the way to, I think when I for a big team or a new agent, Keller Williams has the training for all of that. And then it just gives you the ability to, there's no ceiling. It's like you said, if I wanted to have agents in every one of the offices in the region, I could do it. There are a lot of other companies that's just impossible to do.
Well, what I will say by sitting here talking to you for about 30 minutes, your people in Delaware better watch out, and surrounding states, because I think you guys are going to grow and it's going to be a fun ride to watch what you do. And I'm glad to be part of this journey with you. Look forward to setting up a tech audit to really try to save you guys some money, and because I know you're new, so we're going to do what we can to expose you. I know they call it drinking from a fire hose,
and it has been. We're picking our spots and learning and still trying to conduct business like we do. So,
but listen, you're going to love it, and if you think you love it now, wait till a couple years from now when you start creating better lives for the people in your organization and continue to build your brand throughout Delaware and other states, is when, you know, you and I are going to be sitting here having another conversation about how big you built your brand.
I'm excited.
Next phase. So I'm glad to be on the journey. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
And welcome to Keller Williams, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you. Stay safe.
All right. You too.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.